Hi everyone, it's Ren speaking. I hope you're all doing great, my friends. Apologies if there's a lot of noise. There's a cicada singing, there's the waves down there. I mean, at least you can hopefully enjoy nice background. So yeah, this is where I live. But here we are here to talk about the difference between NI and SI, right? And because it's been requested after my video on NE versus NI, which seems to have been popular with you guys. So NI versus SI. So what can we do? How can we tell the difference in a kind of basic sense, right? Well, I mean, one way in which you can tell the difference between NI and SI is that SI is ultimately more connected than NI to the external world as it is in itself, as it is given to us in external reality. So I think that you could argue that there is nothing more distant from external reality than NI. NE and SE, the two functions of extroverted judgment, are basically the two functions that are the most connected to the immediacy of the external world. Generally speaking, all extroverted functions are more connected, able to just be happy in the world as it is now, today, than other functions, right? When you move to the introverted functions, there's many of them. There's 4 of them. There's TI and so on. NI is the most distant from the external world. SI is distant but not as distant, which is why if you come across like an ISFJ or an ISTJ, if you compare them with ENFPs or ENTPs or ESTPs, they won't be quite like a fish in the sea of what's happening around them. But somehow they always have the resources and the willingness to connect, to find a way to carve their own niche and thrive there, okay? And the reason why they can do that is kind of mysterious, because if you look at what Jung says in his books, he does really suggest that SI and NI have a lot more in common than what we would assume, right? The huge differences that are made, of the differences between SI and NI, this is really more the product of the current literature, like current video publications and so on. It's something that is a lot less obvious in the books of Jung, of the originator of the theory, right? This is something that in the books of Jung, he does really point out that SI is more in touch with the unconscious. But here is, I think, what the main difference is, and what I try to articulate in this book, right? If you read the Ecstatic Soul, like my book, which you can find a link to it, down below, right? You can find a link to it down below in the description box if you want to get a copy of this book. I provide an analysis of the differences between NI and SI, and what I say is that in a sense, SI has a weird way of creating a kind of, I think in the book I call it a replica of the external reality, but internally, right? Because we do get the sense that SI users, especially SI dominants, they get by in the world. They do seem more distant than any dominance or SE dominance, but they get by. It's like they are able to create a set of internal tools, systematic tools, that they can rely on. So whenever there's a situation in external reality where you'd have the extroverted perceiver will be efficiency, introverted perceiver, not efficiency, but SI users always can tell, okay, this is a situation, I know what internal tool I can rely on, I can use, right? I can sort of find it in some shelf right in here. I can just pull it out, use that tool to create the connection. So they have a systematic internal mechanism to refer back to in order to cope with external reality in a predictable and systematic fashion. Which is why we often say that the ways of SI are more literal, they're more down to earth, they're more direct than NI. It's true. That's because they need systematicity. They need to make reality predictable. That's the main difference. I think that what I said about NI is that an NI user, in order to be happy, needs to connect the present, reality right now, to a past and to a future that they can contribute in shaping. But for SI is that they need to make reality predictable. NE users don't need to worry about that, because reality is just reality, they jump into it. SI users see reality as alien, but they have a way of making it predictable with a systematic set of tools. Because they're systematic, they have to be more direct and more literal than the ways of NI, which are always much more metaphorical and less systematic. Okay? Don't forget, guys, that I have a Patreon page you can support. There's a link down below, and I would really appreciate your support. I've had a few newcomers recently that massively helped me with keeping the channel afloat. There's also my new book, The Infinite Soul and the INFJ. You know, if you want to find a book on how to lead a life as an NI-dominant, especially an INFJ, that is meaningful, that is fulfilling, that is rich, and that is not absolutely hostile to any kind of thriving in external reality, which we know is an environment that is kind of not very well suited to NI users, including for the reasons I just gave you. This is the book to get. So it's new, it's selling well. You can find the links down below, guys. Okay, so I hope this video was not too chaotic, because there's been noise and it's not been easy to find a spot where I could record it. Let me know what you think, and I will see you on Wednesday. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.